Good morning, everyone. I'm Miss Trotter, your school counselor and Peacebuilding teacher, and this is Nola. She's in 3rd grade. Since our gathering theme has to do with sharing our stories, I want to begin with a short story about peace. This is called A Portrait of Peace by Linda Spitzer. There was once a king who offered a prize to the artist who could paint the best picture of peace. Many artists tried. The king looked at all the pictures, and after much deliberation, he was down to the last 2. He had to choose between them. One picture was of a calm lake. The lake was a perfect mirror for the peaceful mountains that towered around it. Overhead, fluffy white clouds floated in a blue sky. Everyone who saw this picture said that it was the perfect picture of peace. The second picture had mountains too. These mountains were rugged and bare. Above was an angry gray sky from which rain fell. Lightning flashed. Down the side of the mountain tumbled a foaming waterfall. This did not appear to be a peaceful place at all. But when the king looked closely, he saw that behind the waterfall was a tiny bush growing in the rock. And inside the bush, a mother bird had built her nest. There, in the midst of the rush of angry water, sat the mother bird on her nest. She was the perfect picture of peace. The king chose the second picture because, he explained, peace is not only in a place where there is no noise, no trouble, or hard work. Peace is in the midst of things as they are, when there is calm in your heart. That is the real meaning of peace. Now, I want you to continue to think about that story of what peace looks like. If you were to paint a portrait yourself, what would it look like for you? We'll come back to this. I'm here this morning to introduce you to a very special commitment to live in peace that students in our school make each year. Do you know what a commitment is, Nola?
A commitment is a choice that you make and that you do it. Like, I commit to practice the piano and to practice Spanish. Sometimes I forget, but I try my best.
That's right. A commitment is like a promise or a dedication to try your very best to do a certain thing. Our school pledge of nonviolence is a commitment to using our peace-building tools as we learn and build friendships with one another throughout the year. We hope that you will join your classmates in signing this pledge, this commitment. So it goes like this. Making peace must start within ourselves and in our school. Each of us, members of Eastern Mennonite School, on this day, the 9th of September 2020, commit ourselves as best we can to become nonviolent, peaceable people. Now, as we learn the different components of the Pledge of Nonviolence, let's also learn and practice the sign language. I want to thank the 4th and 5th graders for all their help with this. Now, as we go about the year, let's remember these signs and use them when we notice others showing these qualities. Please join us where you are as we practice the sign language. The first is to respect ourselves and others. To respect ourselves, to affirm others, and to avoid uncaring criticism, hateful words, physical attacks, and self-destructive behavior. So if you want to make an R, you want to do this with me, Nola? This is an R in sign language, and you take it down like this. Respect ourselves and others. So let's do that again. You take your R, respect ourselves. This is and others. Great.
Respect ourselves and others.
Okay, the second is to communicate better, to share our feelings honestly, to look for safe ways to express our anger, and to work at solving problems peacefully. So if you want to take a C in either hand and you say, it's kind of like you're talking. This I think is talking. So we're going to say communicate. Communicate, kind of like it's coming out of your mouth. Communicate. And then better, you take your hand to your lips and you go better. And you kind of make a thumbs up sign. Better. So communicate better.
Communicate better.
The next is to listen. To listen carefully to one another, especially those who disagree with us, and to consider others' feelings and needs rather than insisting on having our own way. To listen, we're going to just take our ear to listen, and then for the word keep in sign language, and then you kind of tap your wrist is carefully. So to listen carefully.
Listen carefully. Listen carefully.
To forgive. To apologize and make amends when we hurt another. To forgive others and to keep from holding grudges. So to forgive, we're going to kind of it's as if someone was keeping a list of all of the wrongs that you had done. And what you do is you take your two fingers in your right hand. So take your right hand, Noah, with two fingers like this. And you're going to kind of take your list and you're going to wipe it all away. So to forgive. Good job.
To forgive.
Forgive.
The next is to respect nature, to treat the environment and all living things with respect and care. So again, we're going to take our sign language R and our fingers with your right hand, and you're going to bring it down across your face to respect. And nature, you're going to make an N with a sign language N with your fingers. And you're going to bring your land or your ground out with your hand. And you're just going to circle right over top of it. So to respect nature.
Respect nature.
To respect nature.
The next is to play creatively, to select activities and toys that support our school's values, and to avoid activities that make violence look exciting, funny, or acceptable. And this is how we do it. The word play is like this, to play. And creatively, you're going to start with 4 fingers on each hand. It's kind of like there's wild ideas coming out of your head, okay? Your imagination is going wild. So to play creatively. Good job.
To play creatively.
The next is to be courageous, to challenge violence in all its forms whenever we encounter it, whether at home, at school, or in the community, and to stand with others who are treated unfairly. To be, you make that letter B with your hand and you bring it away from your mouth. To be, and then you're just going to take your fingers like this. Courageous, and then you show your strong hands. Courageous. to be courageous. Here we go.
Be courageous.
To be courageous.
And then the end of our pledge says, this is our pledge. These are our goals. Eliminating violence, one school at a time, starting with our own. And then there's a place to sign your name. Your teachers have a copy of the Pledge of Nonviolence in your classroom. When you're ready, teachers, please give instructions for students to take turns signing the pledge. Meanwhile, I've handed out squares to each class for you to create a portrait of what you think peace looks like. Perhaps in your classrooms, either right now or as you have time in the next few days. Teachers, please have your students draw their own portrait of peace. When complete, please gather them and return them to my mailbox, and I'll piece them all together and post them for everyone to see. Thank you all, and have a great rest of the day.